Hey there, it's Kathy with Be Creative with Kathy, and good morning everybody. Today is Thursday, July 30th. I don't even know what today. I shouldn't have said what today is because I don't know what today is. I think it's the 30th. Tomorrow's the 31st. Oh my gosh, we're almost to August. I made it. This is July, or Christmas in July, and I've decided that I'm going to make the 3 cards here on Facebook Live, and then I'll post them on YouTube. And so I did a video Tuesday. I'm going to do a video today, and then I'll do a video tomorrow of the 3 classes that we made during, or the 3 cards that we made during class last Sunday. So let me show you what yesterday's card was. I have 4 of them here. So yesterday's card looked like this. We used the Stitch Stocking bundle, and look how cute those are, doing the patchwork with the designer series paper, some cardstock, and then some basic white. So if you missed that video, you can go back and watch it. Now, if it's, I'm talking about it and it wasn't 30 days ago, it's still there. Or you can see it on my YouTube channel, and all of my social media is Be Creative with Kathy. So, okay, let me show you today's card. I thought today's card's really cute. It's a fancy fold that goes like this. I saw Don Griffin do something like this, and so I decided to do the same thing, only I gave it, I think, a little Kathy. I saw hers a long time ago, and to be honest, I'm not exactly sure how she did hers, but I'll show you how I did mine. Okay, we're going to use the Merriest Tags bunch, and I just want to show you on this set, in case you didn't see it. Oh, the stamps aren't here. I got all the stamps mounted and ready to go. But on the dies, here's some extra cutouts. This die, just like the stamp, is one great big piece, and it stamps and punches them out all at the same time. And then it has some extra tags. Hello, hi Rod, thanks for watching. And then it has all these other little die cuts that cut out the little stamps too. So I just thought that was interesting. When I got it, I didn't even realize it was going to be like that. I've done all the die cutting and prep work, because when you come to class, you get a packet that looks something like this. And I even made, I guess is the word, or taught them how to cut their paper, so that worked out. I thought they enjoyed that one, learning more techniques. So this is a piece of cardstock, real red, that is 11 inches. Yeah, that's funny. This is the red one, Rod. Okay, anyway, my cardstock is 5.5 by 11, and I've already scored it at 3 inches and at 7, excuse me, 3 inches and 7 along the long side. So we have a short piece, or I guess a short section here, a long section and a long section, and we're going to cut this long section. So I'm going to take it, now I have my 5.5 at the top of my trimmer. Hopefully you can see. Get in the camera, Kathy. Again, I said this is the short section and the long section, so we're going to cut along the long section. I'm going to line it up at 1 inch, and I'm going to cut from the top to this score line here. And I'm going to stand up so I can look over my trimmer, probably change the volume of my voice because now I'm right over my phone, but anyway. Okay, it's set up. Let me double check at 1 inch, and we're going to cut down to that score line. Okay, now if you go just a hair past, don't worry, it won't make that much of a difference, and I suggest you really have a sharp blade on your trimmer so that this is a really nice smooth cut. Okay, now we're going to turn it over, and I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. 1 inch over here, and then we're going to take and slice that down to that score mark here. Okay, so now normally when you do cards like this, you would just take your scissors and you would cut along that score line to get rid of this piece. But every time I do it like that, it seems like I have a really jagged edge right here. So I'm going to just take this and I'm going to just fold it over. And fold this one over. And then while we're at it, we might as well just fold this over. But this one is going to stay as is. These two are going to get glued down. Now, at least on my card, I can see that these 2 pieces of paper go over this score line here, and we want this to be able to fold over without those being in the way. So I'm going to just take my paper snips here and just trim off. And it doesn't matter if it's perfect, these are going to be hidden, but I'm going to just trim off a little of my cardstock, and then that way when I put these down, now it doesn't interfere with this score line here. So let's go ahead and fold this, just since we're folding stuff all at once. I'm going to get a really crisp fold on that one. Really crisp fold, making sure that the edges line up with the top of my cardstock. Get that one. Make sure these edges down here are lined up. And then let's go ahead and fold this one since we're in folding mode. There we go. Okay, I got really crisp folds on there. So now I'm going to just take my liquid glue and glue that top and bottom 1-inch piece down to the inside of our card. There we go, and that's how you get your fancy fold that has nice smooth edges right here, which is what I really like. Hi Mary, thank you for watching. Okay, now we just have to decorate. So let me show you the other pieces that were in my packet here. So I have course, or I should say I have a piece of basic white, and I don't know my measurements. I cut my paper a long time ago, so you need to go to my gallery, becreativewithkathy.com, and all the measurements are there. But this piece is going to fit right here, and it's going to cover up most of those pieces, you know, the edges that we have glued down here. And then I have a piece of real red cardstock. Now I have embossed, dry embossed this with those cute little season cheer embossing folders. One of them has candy canes, one of them has cute little bats, and one of them has leaves. So they're all occasion. If you can see, that's what they emboss them like. And I've already taken and embossed my real red cardstock here, and this is just going to layer right here on the front. There, look how cute that embossed candy cane is there on the front. Okay, then I have 3 pieces of Designer Series paper. Now, for class, you can see I use that adorable candy cane Designer Series paper, and I meant to bring the Designer Series paper because I used the same on both yesterday or Tuesday's card and today's card. But anyway, I forgot, I don't know the name of it right now. But we used the candy cane during class. I used up all that Designer Series paper that I had, so I'm gonna just use the red with the little whatchamacallits on there. So I have a piece here. This is gonna go in the front on the inside. This would be the same size as that cardstock that we embossed, that I embossed and put on the front. Nice little border. Whoop, come on, get it straight, Kathy. There we go. Right there. And then 2 other pieces. And like I said, the measurements are on my gallery. I'm sorry, I don't know what they are. I'm not going to worry about it today. These, just so you know, are not a square, so you got to be careful that you put them the right direction. And if you use the candy cane or this pattern, it doesn't really matter which way you cut it, but if you have a directional pattern, just be careful you cut your paper so that it is wider than it is tall. Okay, I'm going to put this one right here. Now we have our card basically done. All we need to decorate. Look how cute that is. Okay, so let's do some stamping. I have my piece of basic white, like I said, was for the inside, and I've already die cut from that large die that I showed you. Whoops, this way. The 3 pieces here. Okay, so for class, to make it a little easier, I took my positioner, my stamp positioner, and I set it up. So all I did was take a piece of cardstock. I cut out all those little pieces because, of course, in their packet, this is what they look like. And this one is dirty. Hang on, I don't know what got on it, but I'm going to just clean it up a little bit here with my eraser. Maybe. Okay, there we go. Cleaner. Anyway, back to this. Whoops, it goes this way. So I put my piece of cardstock in here that you can see I've already die cut out. And then I put first I put, and let's see if I can show you, I put down my grid paper for my stamp positioner. Then I put down a piece of sticky grid paper. Now this just holds everything into place. And then I laid my cardstock on there. Then I took my stamp positioner one more time and I stamped it, inked it up and stamped it down so you can see where it's going to stamp on my paper. That way if something moves, although with that grid paper I don't think anything is, I'll know not to stamp to wait and put it back in place. And you can see that it's still lined up really nice. That's one thing nice about our stamp positioner, is that when you lay it here, the ink doesn't touch the paper until you press down. But then we can take these pieces that I've die cut and we can lay them in that little hole. Make sure they're in there, and see that one's not in there perfect. I can see an edge right here, so I know that it's not going to stamp. Boy, that grid paper really holds it down, doesn't it? But it wasn't going to stamp where I want it. So there, now it's in there exactly perfect. Same on this one. We're going to just set that one in there. And now if you look at my template, there's stamping on the edges. And now maybe this is a little bit bigger than the tag, but I don't know. We'll see if this one works. Okay, I have that one in there perfect. And then this one, for some reason, I notice it's easier if you load it. That's what I'm going to call putting it in there from the bottom. There we go. We have them all set up. Now all we need to do is take our plate here and ink it up. And I'm using, if I can get out of my bucket, Real Red ink, of course, because we're using Real Red cardstock, Real Red Designer Series paper. I'm going to just ink that up really good. Now we need a drum roll. I'm going to look through my plate, make sure I have ink everywhere, although you can see we used Real Red, so my stamp is very stained. Okay, and then we're just going to press down. And then we'll see if we got a good image on our tags. And yes, we did. Look how nice that looks. Okay, I'm going to set that aside and take my tags out. And then this way, I can cut out a bunch of tags at one time and then stamp them over and over again and make a bunch of these, just like my class members did last Sunday. Okay, we need to do a little bit more stamping on these. And I did, Sunday, made a little template like this so everybody could see what we needed to do. I'm going to stamp my greetings in Shaded Spruce. Real Red and Shaded Spruce, I think, are my favorite Christmas colors. Okay, so using, this one says Joyful Greetings, so I'm going to stamp that on my circle here. Try to get it straight. Drum roll, if I get my head in the camera, you can see my hair. And boy, today, my hair has a mind of its own. I don't know if that makes any sense. Do your guys' hair have a mind of its own? Mine does today. And it says, let's stick up everywhere. Okay, we're going to stamp this one up in the corner, making sure we leave room for that little holly leaf down here. And then this one, oh no, then in the inside, I'm going to use the Merry Christmas. Now, the Merry Christmas, and let me show you the stamp set again, if I can find it. These two here, the Merry Christmas and the Happy, Merry Christmas and Happy are all, so you could do Happy Christmas or you could do Merry Christmas. They're all separate stamps, so they're not stuck together, so you can do what you want on your card or your projects. Okay, I'm going to stamp the Christmas first. I'm going to put them about there. This is for the inside of our card. And then I'm going to stamp that little Merry. Oop, it doesn't look like it's inked up there now. It's inked up pretty good. Stamp that down. Look how cute that is. Okay, now let's go to Real Red ink and stamp the rest of our images. Because on this one, we're going to stamp, on this one, not on this one. On this one, we're going to stamp that little stocking. Just right here. I should put this on my Pierce mat because white on white, even though my Pierce Matte is a gray color. Sometimes it's easier to see. There we go. So we have that one ready. We need the little sprig on here. And since I'm using red on all my images, I'm going to go ahead and use red on this one. And then when we color it, it won't look like red, but I think it still looks good. Okay, on this one, we're going to add that little candy cane, which did tie in the designer series paper until I ran out. Okay, now we need to color, and I promise this won't take long. I'm going to use Real Red, Shaded Spruce, and Cherry Cobbler on my card. Now my blends are used at class, so they are loved and worn out, and I might have to practice. Let me find a piece of paper here just to see which color is the lightest. I'm going to start with this one. I want to color my little flowers in light, and that's pretty light, in light Real Red. And these are little tiny images, so my suggestion is sometimes you make little small brisk strokes with your marker. I couldn't come up with the word I wanted, probably because I'm trying to color and talk at the same time. And other times you just make dots and let the marker just barely, see there in the corner, I just touched it like this, and then it bleeds out, and it, I don't know, it does better that way. Okay, that's light Real Red. Then with the dark, I think this is dark Cherry Cobbler. You see it, yep, that's a good one. So I'm gonna just dot on all those little berries, and I'm guessing which are berries and which are leaves. And then that marker just kind of bleeds out. And I think if they're not colored in perfect, I think that looks good too. Okay, then I'm gonna take my dark Shaded Spruce and just color in those leaves. Now, I'm not going to stop and color everything for you because I made this template. I can just use those when it's time to put my card together. And you can see how I just used different colors on the stocking. I did the same thing with the little berry leaves, and then I finished with all those, and it's all done, and I don't have to color on camera and waste time. Okay, so let's put our card together. This one here, I lost my tape, here it is. I'm going to just put on the inside, like I said, to cover up those pieces that we folded over so we have a nice clean image or a nice clean card on the inside. Like that. It's cute, right? Okay, then this one, now I've taken a piece, I was going to do that for you, but I already have it done, of this pretty stitched, I think it's called Stitched Real Red. Let's see what it's called. Yes, stitched ribbon, and it looks like this. Now, do you guys do this? Do you take a hair tie and put it around your spools of ribbon, and then that way it doesn't fall out? And I like to use the clear ones, and then that way you can see right through that clear hair tie to see your ribbon. But there it is. I love this ribbon. It ties really nice. It looks really good. Looky there. And then I just used a glue dot to hold those two ends together. And then it looks like I need to take and trim. This one is not straight. I'm going to straighten him up like that. There we go. We're going to just take him with some of our tape and put it right here on the inside. There. Now this one, if I can get up that, because it's on a piece of window sheet now, and I'm going to have to remove that, this one here. This one we're going to put onto the other side, and I'm laying them flat because they're on the inside, and it goes right here. Now to put my embellishment on, which I'm using the, what are these called? Peppermints? Yeah, red and white peppermint adhesives. I suggest you put a glue dot in the hole of the tag right here, you need to put a glue dot in there to make sure that that embellishment stays really secure. And that's what I did, and that's what I showed my class on here so they could see through what to do with that one. Okay, then this one, let me peel him off. There's the inside of our card. It's almost done. I want to add a couple extra embellishments. Oh, look here. Oh, no, it goes this way. I was like, why won't that close? Like that. We're going to add this on the front, and I just made sure that they put a dimensional underneath that hole there, and that's going to help hold your ribbon on, although mine looks like it's been touched a few times, and I'm going to have to add a glue dot too because it's not sticky anymore. So just a few glue dots. Boy, I cut my nails yesterday and I'm having trouble getting my dimensionals off, or my dimensional backings off. Okay, there we go. And then this goes right here. And then, if you came to class, I had a bunch of bows like this. I had tied them all for them using the Handy Dandy Bow Maker. So if you have a bow maker, this works perfect. If you don't have a bow maker, you can go back. Quite a while ago, I did a video on how to use the bow maker. But if I need to make a new video, you let me know, and I can show you how to use the bow maker. And my bow looks like it's been through the ringer, but I can fix it up a little bit. It's on a glue dot because it came off of the glue dot release paper. Sit it there. We can fix him up just a little bit, make him look good again. Use a glue dot if I need to hold his tails. His tails are a little long, so I'm going to just trim those down so they're about even. There we go. Now he doesn't look bad. Oh, except this one's too long. I think I trimmed the other one too short, but it still looks good. And there we go. So now, like I said, all we need to do is add some peppermints. I don't have very many in this pack, but don't worry, I have more on my order. So just take some, oh, and there's no little ones in. Oh, there's one little one, so we'll just stick him here. And then maybe a large or medium one. I'm going to do those backwards. I'm going to put the little one down here with a large one. There we go. And then let's stick this one right here. And then since my peppermints are pretty flat, I'm going to go ahead and put some here on the inside of my card. Just one there, two, and how about another one right here? So it looks like that. And there you go. So there is card number 2. Pretty quick. Looks like that. And then when you open it, it opens like this. It has really nice smooth edges here because we just folded those over. These are nice here because I used my paper trimmer, and it looks like that. Okay, so let me show you real quick what tomorrow's card looks like. And tomorrow, I found out my grandson is coming earlier than I thought, so it'll definitely be tomorrow morning. Okay, so it's going to be a pink card that looks, and let's see, I think one of them goes this way. It doesn't matter which side your bow is on. I use that Irresistible, I think it's called, paper. I don't know if you can see it. So it has some like tone on tone images here on the side. You'll be able to see it tomorrow as I make the card. So this is tomorrow. It's going to be early in the morning. If you consider this early in the morning, which I kind of do, that's what we're going to make. Here's today's card. Here's yesterday or Tuesday's card, and then we'll have our 3 days of Christmas in July. Alrighty. Thanks for the compliment, Rod. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you back here tomorrow morning. See you then. Bye-bye.